Hey guys, Left Lane here, and in this special episode we have for you guys today, we're going to tell you what you need to look for in a used car, what to watch out for, and we're going to spotlight the 1999 RX. So this is the 1999 RX engine that we've got here, and this is a V6, it's a 3-liter, hence the 300 after RX, and it's got about 220 horsepower and 220 pound-feet of torque, so it's enough power to get the job done, but you're still going to get in the 20s gas mileage wise. Great engine. So we're in the interior of the 1999 RX, and I have to say everything is pretty soft touch. Although there's some harder surfaces right here, you still get those nice soft Lexus seats. Also, you get this screen which doesn't have navigation, but displays everything nicely and makes the interior look pretty refined and good. Then you have this center stack right here, which has your climate control and your radio and your entertainment system, which includes a cassette player right here and a 6 CD changer inside the glove box. Then you have 2 heated seats down here, a cigarette lighter here if you have any of those car adapters, and then you have this gear shift knob right here, which actually has a low gear, believe it or not. Then you have your power setting and your snow setting to make it easier to drive in different conditions. You also have all your lights and your signal lights located here, just like any Toyota, Lexus, Honda, or Acura. You also have your flashers right here on the side, and you're going to have power windows, power locks, and power mirrors. Let's go take a look at the back. So the rear interior of the RX also has a lot of soft touch materials and really comfortable seats too. Plus you got a lot of room, some room for some storage, you've got air vents, cup holders, and if no one's sitting in the middle seat, you've actually got an armrest for the 2 passengers back here. You also have power windows, and if you really need some extra storage, both seats do go down pretty easily and pretty quickly, which brings me to the trunk. The trunk of the RX is pretty big. You've got a lot of room, a wide opening, and you also have a spare tire down here. You also have this little cover just in case you have some stuff that you just bought in here and you don't want anyone to look in there. And it's a nice, easy trunk. So here we are in the 1999 Lexus RX, and we're going to take it for a quick test drive to show you guys how it does on the road. So this is how this screen works. It doesn't have navigation like I said, but it shows all your information like your time, your outside temperature, and your cruise information, which includes your time that you've been on the road, your average miles per hour, your average miles per gallon, and your current miles per gallon. Also, if you turn on the climate control and say the radio, all of that's going to come up, like your station, the temperature that you have, and how hard the fans are going, and where the air is being circulated to. I have to say this car is really easy to drive. It's got great visibility. But the turning radius, I have to say, is pretty bad. It's not very good, but that good visibility kind of makes up for it. Before I start talking about the ride, I want to tell you guys how this car came to be, how Lexus decided to make it, and why they decided to make it, because that really tells why this car is like it is. And basically, when Lexus first came out, realized that Lexus is only a 25-year-old company, which is really young for how well they're doing. But Lexus is only about a 25-year-old company, and they were selling luxury sedans in the States. And what they weren't doing well is selling a lot of them, and they were in trouble. Why? Because there is a huge tax on luxury foreign sedans. So why did they say that? Lexus said, let's make ourselves a crossover that's 4-wheel drive, that's fairly economical, that can be a family car and a single person's car, so it's basically for everybody, and that's built on a truck frame, so it has a truck tax and so we're not killing everybody on the price. And that's exactly what they did, and that's why this car is like it is. This car is a perfect medium between your Jeep Wrangler off-roader with zero luxury and your BMW X3 that can't go off-road whatsoever. And when you first look at this car, you would probably even think the BMW X3 could do better off-road than it, because the ground clearance isn't super high. But if you look in the interior and you look at all the features, what it has, it really is set up fairly nicely for a vehicle that could go off-road if you needed it to. I'm not saying you should take this out on the heavy trails or anything where all your friends have Jeep Wranglers, but if you're going to have a dirt road, if you're going to go hunting, anything like that, it'll get the job done, and you're not going to break anything. It'll get the job done either way. So basically what I was saying before, this car does have a low gear if you need that. I've never used it. I've never had to use it. But it does have it, and also has a mud setting, which is basically going to make it a little bit easier to get through some really wet, thick mud or some snow. It's also a snow setting, so basically the power isn't going to be too quick, and you're not going to get the tires spinning. And so we're actually on a dirt road right here, a little bit of an off-roading road. It's not anything hardcore, like I said. You really want to be careful with not going over any boulders with this thing, because this thing doesn't have covers on the bottom, so don't expect it to do anything spectacular in that sense. But it does fine in the dirt and in the gravel. In fact, it does better than fine. It does better than, I'm sure, an RDX would, and I'm sure a BMW X3 would. And it's just taking this, it's finding traction easily with these summer tires that obviously are not meant for dirt roads, but it's working fine with summer tires. And I'm not even using the low gear or the mud setting right now. I'm just driving on this dirt road perfectly fine. So although that's not really any off-roading, I just wanted to take you guys out on that so you could see that it is fairly capable. It'll easily get those jobs done. If you need to go hunting and you're going a little slightly off-road on some trails, it'll be fine. Or if you're just going on a dirt road, you're going to be fine. You don't have to worry about it, as long as you're not going over some boulders or going down a huge hill and some really thick snow. I'd say this is just an average, right in the middle, where it's fairly off-road capable, but not very off-road capable. What's so great about this car, though, it transfers over to the road so well. And that's probably because it's right in the middle, like I said before. Honestly, it's not too soft, not too firm. The steering isn't too light, it isn't too heavy. And I have to say, that's the best thing about this car. Hey guys, Left Lane here, and we just wanted to show you the Lexus RX. We spotlighted this car for this video. It's pretty cool. You could get one for about $5 grand now. It's a pretty nice vehicle, but keep in mind, if you are going to purchase one, it did have some transmission issues. So if you're going to buy one with a lot of miles, make sure, number one, the transmission's been replaced, or number two, the one that's currently in there can go for many more miles to come, so you're not stuck with an expensive fix that you're going to have to fix right after you bought the vehicle. So this video isn't just about the RX, obviously. It's about used cars in general, what to look for, and what to watch out for. So basically, we got the idea for this video because a lot of guys in our grade, and a lot of girls too, are looking for used luxury vehicles, and we want to make sure if you're part of that group that you guys know what to look for and don't make a bad decision because you guys weren't aware of things to look for. So the first thing we want you guys to do before you buy a used vehicle is do a lot of research. You guys really need to do a huge amount of research to make sure that you don't buy a car that's been frequently unreliable, or bought a car that doesn't have a good ride in it, or just anything like that. Just make sure you do a lot of research. Next thing that kind of goes into this research topic is make sure you got a lot of different opinions and views, because, for example, the new consumer reviews that I was reading the other day is talking about how reliable the new Audis are. And honestly, if you look at a lot of other people's opinions, they're talking about how unreliable Audis have been over the past few years and over the past 10, 15, 20 years. And so obviously the new ones probably won't be as reliable as other vehicles, and I'm just not sure why consumer reviews gave them great reliability, but I think it's way too early to come to that conclusion. And so you guys need to really watch out for some bad or biased reviews out there. So just be careful with those things. The next thing, this also goes with research, is definitely look into the car specifically. Say you're looking for a 2005 Toyota Camry. Even though it's a Toyota, and you know Toyotas are frequently reliable, look into that specific model, see the models before that to see the history of their reliability. You know, even take this Lexus for example. It's made by Toyota, which is a great reliable company, but this one had a lot of transmission issues which could be costly if you don't get lucky. So just really look into that, and also research the maintenance. If you're looking for a $10,000 car and you can't afford luxury maintenance, maybe you shouldn't buy a BMW 3 Series, because you know in a BMW 3 Series you're going to have to put premium gas, synthetic oil. You may not be able to rotate the tires if the front and the back tires are the same size. Keep that in mind. I know in the newer C-classes and the newer ISs, if they're not all-wheel drive, and I'm pretty sure the newer 3 Series, you know, if they're not all-wheel drive, the front and the back wheels are different sizes, and that means you're going to have to be changing tires a lot, which could add up. The next thing you guys need to look for, if you're going to a bigger dealership, say we're in North Carolina, so we have a lot of Hendrick dealerships around here. If I'm going to a Hendrick BMW, I definitely want to look in their certified pre-owned section. That means that it's already passed their tests, it has lower miles, and there's less chance that I'm going to be in a bad situation later, and that this car is probably not going to have a lot of problems when it gets higher miles on it. The next thing, or the second to last thing you guys need to do, is when you find a certain vehicle, keep looking around, look as much as you can, because the used market is huge, and you know, you don't know, you may see a car that's $500 more with 20,000 less miles, or you may see a car that's cheaper and that has the same exact miles and has been taken better care of. So you really need to look into that. The last and probably most important thing is make sure that if you have a private mechanic or a friend that knows a lot about cars, or basically any car expert, make sure they look into the car to make sure it hasn't been crashed before, because a lot of times dealerships will lie to you or things like that. So you need to really make sure that you make good decisions when you're buying a used vehicle. So we'll see you guys later. We hope this helped you out, and subscribe for any more help or more reviews, and we'll see you guys later.